Welcome to Plan 9 Crunch. I'm Jack Sino, usually the producer, but today I'm here for the read of the week, and that is from the collection of Roald Dahl's Tales of the Unexpected. The particular story I'll be reading today was originally written in 1950 for Collier's magazine. The title is Poison. It must have been around midnight when I drove home, and as I approached the gates of the bungalow, I switched off the headlamps of the car so the beam wouldn't swing in through the window of the bedroom and wake Harry Pope. But I needn't have bothered. Coming up the drive, I noticed his light was still on, so he was awake anyway, unless perhaps he'd dropped off while reading. I parked the car and went up the 5 steps to the balcony, counting each step carefully in the dark so I wouldn't take an extra one, which wasn't there when I got to the top. I crossed the balcony, pushed through the screen doors into the house itself, and switched on the light in the hall. I went across to the door of Harry's room, opened it quietly, and looked in. He was lying on the bed, and I could see he was awake, but he didn't move. He didn't even turn his head toward me, but I heard him say, "Timber, Timber, come here." He spoke slowly, whispering each word carefully, separately, and I pushed the door right open and started to go quickly across the room. "Stop. Wait a moment, Timber." I could hardly hear what he was saying. He seemed to be straining enormously to get the words out. "What's the matter, Harry?" "Shh," he whispered. "Shh. For God's sake, don't make a noise. Take your shoes off before you come nearer. Please do as I say, Timber." The way he was speaking reminded me of George Barling after he got shot in the stomach when he stood leaning against a crate containing a spare airplane engine, holding both hands on his stomach and saying things about the German pilot in just the same hoarse, straining half-whisper Harry was using now. "Quickly, Timber, but take your shoes off first." I couldn't understand about taking off the shoes, but I figured that if he was as ill as he sounded, I'd better humor him. So I bent down and removed the shoes and left them in the middle of the floor. Then I went over to his bed. "Don't touch the bed! For God's sake, don't touch the bed!" He was still speaking like he'd been shot in the stomach, and I could see him lying there on his back with a single sheet covering 3/4 of his body. He was wearing a pair of pajamas with blue, brown, and white stripes, and he was sweating terribly. It was a hot night, and I was sweating a little myself, but not like Harry. His whole face was wet, and the pillow around his head was sodden with moisture. It looked like a bad go of malaria to me. "What is it, Harry?" "A crate," he said. "A crate? Oh my God, where did it bite you? How long ago?" "Shut up," he whispered. "Listen, Harry," I said, and I leaned forward and touched his shoulder. "We've got to be quick. Come on now, quickly tell me where it bit you." He was lying there very still and tense, as though he were holding onto himself hard because of sharp pain. "I haven't been bitten," he whispered. "Not yet. It's on my stomach, lying there asleep." And that's just the beginning of this great short story that's well illustrated by the words and the magical prose of Roald Dahl, not just children's author, but prolific short story, horror, and suspense author. And I encourage you to take a read through that and the rest of the book, and take a look at our other video where we had read from Skin. That's all we have for this week, and that's a wrap.